Hey guys, welcome back. We got a great guest today. He's a club pro, a new pro from Abilene at San Angelo Country Club. If you don't know this and you play golf, San Angelo Country Club has been completely remodeled. He's here to tell us about it and the game of golf. Ladies and gentlemen. So this is Colton Hillburn. Colton, thank you, man, for coming on, dude.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Thanks for
it's
having
good
me.
to have you. Yeah. So you're a new club pro out at San Angelo Country Club, right?
Yes, sir.
Nice.
Yes, sir.
So I'll let you kind of just address the audience right there. Tell them who you are and what you do.
Hi. So my name's Colton Hillburn. I'm the new director of instruction over at San Angelo Country Club. Was my first week last week, so I've been here about a little over a week and a half. Basically here just to help you with your golf swing, help you with every aspect of the game. I've played at a really high level, played Division I golf, and now I've been a PGA pro for over 3 years. So really enjoy teaching, expanding the game, growing player development, and overall just making you enjoy the game.
That's awesome, dude.
Yep.
Thank you to Maximus Nutrition for sponsoring the show. Maximus has some of the best nutrition and supplementation in the Concho Valley. Take it from me, as a strength coach for over 10 years, I've shopped there and got all my supplements from there. There's two, in fact, that I'd like to personally recommend to you. One is a good protein supplement called UMP Beverly International. It's got one of the highest bioavailability rates, so your body actually absorbs like 90% of the actual protein instead of like 60%. The other thing they carry is methylene blue. It's a really cool supplement. Do some research on that one, but it helps with mitochondrial energy uptake. So it helps you to recover faster, have more energy and focus in the gym. So thanks, guys. Maximus Nutrition. They got two locations, the one on Sunset and the one on Knickerbocker. I want to thank Winter the Barber, our newest front-end sponsor of the Matt Cottrell Report. Winter the Barber is located at Fresh Cuts, which is in the Sunset Mall right across from Marshall's. Winter does it all. She specializes in men's cuts, beards. She does waxing, the works. You got to go see Winter. She also does the little kids. She's got great rates, also does walk-ins. Winter the Barber, tell her Matt Cottrell sent you. I want to thank the San Angelo Performing Arts Center and my good friend Yuki Kunoyuki for sponsoring the Matt Cottrell Report. SAPAC is really great for San Angelo and the Concho Valley. Guys, the more we get out and watch live performances, whether it's a comedy show or live music or anything they put on over there, it's going to help our community grow with the arts and culture. So thank you, SAPAC, sincerely from the Matt Cottrell Report. We hope to see you at a show. So, man, I didn't know. So, first of all, where are you from?
So I grew up in Abilene.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
What high school did you go to?
So I actually went to Merkel High School. So it was-
Merkel?
yeah, so it's a small town right outside of
that's
Abilene.
right, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I always say Abilene because a lot of people don't
Yeah.
really know where Merkel was, but
Yeah.
small town. I mean, we had population about 1,200, 1,100
Mm-hmm.
people. My graduating class was around 80 people, 75
really?
people.
Yeah.
So grew up in a small town. Moved over to Cottonwood for a little bit and then lived in Clyde. But most of my life I've been out at Merkel. So
Nice, man. And so you must have been obviously the best player at your school, right? Best
yeah.
golfer, yeah.
Yeah.
And you got a scholarship or something?
Yes, sir.
Where to?
Texas State in San Marcos.
Shut up,
Yeah,
dude.
yeah.
I'm a graduate of Texas State.
Are you really?
09, yeah,
Fellow
2009.
Bobcat?
Yeah.
Come on.
I didn't
yeah.
know that, dude.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
awesome.
So I went there 2018, 2021. Played golf there for 3 years.
You did?
Yeah.
Man, so a little quick story. So when I was at Texas State, I was an athlete in high school. And so when I got to college, I really missed that, you know. And so especially when I got to Texas State, because I had to transfer in from Austin Community College, I was playing a lot of golf, dude, like every day. And I wanted to walk on, but I just finally somebody kind of made me realize I wasn't even close to good enough. I had some pipe dreams about doing that.
Right.
But I thought it would be cool to play for. Was it cool playing for Texas State?
Oh, it was great.
Yeah?
Coach Shane Howell was up there. He came from Lamar University.
Yeah.
And met a lot of good people. I mean, there's 2 or 3
That's cool.
teammates I still chat with. We still keep up with each other.
Yeah.
And overall, the experience was great. I mean, we played out at Plum Creek.
Dude, that's my favorite course.
Yeah.
And Kyle?
Me and
I
Kyle.
love that course, man. Yeah.
So that's where we practiced. We had our college facility. We had a little indoor facility and then a chipping and putting green. But we got to qualify all around Austin, San Antonio. So I played some really sick golf courses.
That's what I want to talk to you about too. Is what courses you've played.
Oh, Cordillera.
Did you ever play Onion Creek? That course.
Yeah.
It was so. When I heard about Onion Creek, it was supposedly somebody played it like it was a public course. But I remember I called them and they were like, "No, it's like semi-private." And I was like, "What does that even mean?"
Right.
So what does that mean? Like what?
So
what is that course?
Semi-private is, they have a membership. They have a certain amount of members, that they pay their yearly dues, and they're locked into their tee times or, they're their first access to play.
Yeah.
And then outside of that, for semi-private, a casual golfer like that can call and see if they can get a tee time or whatnot. But that's kind of last resort. You're on the bottom toe.
Oh, I see.
If the course is wide open, they'll let you out. You pay your fee, you go out there and play. But if the course is pretty busy and the members are out there, they're not gonna.
That's why. Okay, yeah. I could never get a tee time out there. But so man, as a college golfer, you got to play some pretty amazing courses.
Yes.
What was your favorite in Texas? Would you say?
Blue Jack.
Where's that at?
It's kind of outside of Houston.
Okay.
It's designed by Tiger Woods.
Ooh, nice.
All Zoysia. It looks like Augusta out there.
Is that true that Zoysia grass in the fairways you're talking about?
Yeah.
Is it true it's kind of like bouncy, or it kind of helps you? It sits up a little bit.
Oh, the ball's perfectly on a tee. They say the members putt from 100 yards out there.
Are you serious? That's hilarious. Wow.
Yeah.
But what about this? So I know you're a pro out at SAC, and they still have bent grass. What's it
yes,
called?
sir.
Bent grass,
bent grass 007.
Yeah.
And then Tiff Tough Fairways.
Okay.
And so the course shut down for 7 months last year. Apparently they put around $7 or $8 million into their golf course.
Wow.
Stripped everything but the rough. New greens, new bunkers, new fairways. They built a teaching facility and they built a nice short game facility. And so, their members and people around SAC, they love their golf. And it shows. I mean, they did such a great job with it. I mean, it looks amazing out there.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Man, I remember. So, I don't know if you know Doug Aikman. Do you know Doug? You don't know Doug? He's you just only been here a week and a half.
Yeah.
So Doug is he used to own Medical Arts Pharmacy, and he's been a member at SAC forever. Really nice guy, and he golfs a lot. And when that was all happening, he would give me some kind of inside information about what was going on. And man, I was pumped because I ended up writing a little article about it, and I'm trying to remember now because it's been a 2.5 years. But the guy who designed it was the guy who he's the guy who was the guy who designed it? I forget his name.
Jeff, I can't think of his last
but
name
he's like a famous course designer.
Yeah.
And at first I think they voted to just redo the greens, and then as they were in the process, I think this is right, but they decided to go ahead and redo the whole course, like you said, except for the rough.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
So they sold 20 lifetime memberships, and they sold those out within 3 days. And apparently those are 3 generations valuable.
No way.
Yeah, and they sold 20 of those, 3 days, $100,000 a pop, and I mean they raised extra money to put back into the golf course.
3 generations?
Yeah.
No way, dude. I know.
Could be Jeff Broward.
Is that the guy's name?
Jeff Brown. That sounds right.
I don't know if that's right. Jeff, I don't know if that's right
I
either.
don't
I feel
think
like I
that's
would
right.
know the.
Jeff Bloom?
If you said the name, I think I would know it because I remember writing about it.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I can't.
yeah, but he was a great course designer. Yeah, I mean he does renovates courses, creates them from scratch, all of it. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But so you're pretty impressed by it?
Oh,
I mean,
extremely.
you played a lot of courses.
Yeah, no, extremely. And I came from Abilene Country Club, and
Yeah.
basically we did pretty much a similar thing about 3 or 4 years ago to one of our golf courses. We just put in some new bunkers, new tees, kind of redesigned it a little bit, but not to the the level that SAC did.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, as far as it's as good as you get. Like it is.
Dude, I haven't seen it yet.
It is flush out there. It's perfect.
Oh, that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
How do you compare it, just for people who kind of maybe they're weekend warrior who have never played SAC? How do you compare it to quicksand?
As far as manicure and the overall course, levels better. Yeah,
wow.
Levels better. I mean, of course, watching the girls out there, this morning play their high school event. Our SAC it's another level. I mean, it's just perfect. The green complexes around the greens with false fronts, the bunkers, the layout, everything. It shows a true test of golf.
Dude, well, I don't know if you ever played it before the renovation, but something Doug and I would talk about, even Tony and I would talk about sometimes, is the greens were so insane out there before, like to the point where it was almost like gator golf or something. It was like, this is a little ridiculous. So, like, are they still that hard, or did they get are they a little more playable?
They're fair, but they are tough.
Yeah.
Okay. So there was a lot of greens, and I played it, I think, twice in
you did?
pro event out there.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, we had our pro out there every year, hosted by Tank Logics, and so anyway, I remember a few of the greens were like, if you just ball wouldn't stop.
Yeah, exactly.
So they've really leveled out a lot of those greens and makes it fair, but a lot of the greens have little tiers and slopes.
Are they multi-tiered?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's several greens you won't even really recognize. You're like, wow, this is,
Yeah.
So old number 3, they've kind of changed the layout. It's the same layout, but they now start on old 17.
Okay.
And then number 3 is old 10.
Whoa.
And so then actually the number 10 now is number 1, old number 1. Okay.
Really?
Yeah, so that little dog leg left.
Mm-hmm.
So that dog leg left, and then the par 3, and then number 3 over the creek. That green is like totally unrecognizable.
Wow.
I mean, it has 3 to 4 different tiers.
Yeah.
They moved the bunker a little bit more closer to the green. And it's awesome. I mean, it is so good.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Good. Yeah. So, your experience in college when you were playing, did you ever? I mean, were you like number 1 or number 2 at Texas State? Like, how good were you whenever you were there?
So, I made 2 events while I was there. I struggled a lot. I mean, growing up around West Texas, hard pan. It was just kind of bump and run, like low chip shots, right? So there's a few times I go to Dallas, Fort Worth, but I didn't really have much exposure to grain. We're playing on Bermuda. And so when I got there, it was a whole different ball game.
Really?
And so, like, chipping and putting, I remember it was my second semester, and, I just got the chip and yips. I hate to say that word, but I mean, just couldn't chip at all. Like scared over every chip.
Dude.
But my coach actually put me on the edge of our practice green for the whole semester, and he everyone else had their own like practice routine. He said, Hillburn, go to the edge of the green, chip off that type Bermuda green. I mean, I left craters in that green, and he didn't even budge. He just let me figure it out, and it helped a lot. It helped a lot. So after that, I made a couple events, but I mean, those cats were good. There's 3 of them that played a couple of years on pro, and I mean, it was a different level. Yeah.
So when did you know that you wanted to be a golf pro and like help people and do that for a career?
So it just started out as working at a golf course in Brownwood.
Yeah.
So that's where my parents are at now.
Wait, which course?
Hideout.
Oh, the Hideout.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that course.
So I started out there just kind of working in the shop, working in the cart barn. Worked for this old pro. He's now in Florida. I can't remember his name, but anyway, just started out doing that, learning a little bit about the golf business. He let me go play and practice, and so I would do that and go play a couple pro events every now and then. But eventually, like one day, he was like, with your game and the way you're able to connect with people, he's like, you need to think about coaching.
Yeah.
And so he got me one guy that he was working with. Started working with him. His boy was just getting in the game. He was around 7th or 8th grade, and anyway, he got me in, and I mean, right from the start, I loved it. Fell in love it.
Dude,
yeah,
nice.
no, fell in love it. There's just light on their face of
Yep.
being able to hit a shot they couldn't hit before. Or, wow, like that's what it feels like.
Yeah, dude.
It just brings me so much joy.
That's pretty cool, man.
No, there's nothing better than when my players will text me like, "Hey, shot my best round today," or "I hit a shot to 3 feet from 180 out today," or just those moments that really make them enjoy the game.
That's right, man. Yeah,
it just it really
it's
pumps
amazing,
me up.
dude.
Yeah, it pumps me up. Man,
that's cool, dude. Yeah,
I love it.
That's what it's all about, really, right there, man.
Yeah.
I was a coach for a long, strength coach, personal trainer, and there's nothing like that, man. Being able to teach someone a skill, and then it's theirs,
right.
and them taking pride over that skill you taught them. That's just nothing like that.
No,
it's amazing.
No,
yeah.
And I mean, I guess you could say it could have led up to me finding love for the game, because in college, when it was all self-taught.
Yeah. Okay.
But in college, I started going to a guy out at Barton Creek. My coach kind of helped me engage with him. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so I had a couple lessons with him, and really from that moment, I started like really getting in love with the technical side, just how to swing the club, the mechanics that go into it. And so I became a nerd about it. I mean, every night.
Did?
Oh, gosh.
Me too. I did for a while too, but I mean, you must have really went in.
I'm straight into it. I mean, that's all I do. I mean, all I do is I'm looking at the coaches that get, coaches of the year, or these new gadgets that come out, or these new technology.
I want to talk to you about that too.
Yeah, I mean, all of that just like pumps me up, just to
really
try for myself, but then also to try with my players and then see the success with that. It's awesome. So,
dude,
I mean, I'm just a nerd about it.
That's awesome, dude.
I could talk to you about the golf swing and everything like that.
I know. Yeah. Okay. Well, so one of the biggest questions I have about that is, what I want to know from your perspective is, one of the biggest things that amateurs deal with is an over-the-top swing and not being able to shallow the club out, right?
Yep.
So what do you think the best approach is to, let's say, fix a slice, or to get a player to a client, to learn to shallow out the club the shaft, and keep a square face to the path, and the face is what it comes down to, right?
Right.
Okay.
Right. And so I think, of course, it's a lot of setup. It
setup.
Really is. Setup's
Dude,
everything.
that's what people overlook.
They overlook. I mean, even all
Grip
the way
even.
to the grip.
Yes.
I mean, the grip, it's everything. I mean, there's a reason why Scotty is checking his grip every day.
Right.
I mean, it's just plain and simple. Like, everyone I see, the right hand's on top, the left hand's weak, the grip's in the palms.
Right.
Can't release the club
They're not even
properly.
holding it right. Yeah.
And then, of course, they're setting their shoulders open, feet's open, and then they're swinging along their body alignments. And so, basically, like, get a strong grip, get those hands turned to the right if you're a right-handed golfer. Put those hands underneath. Really try to, what I say, turn the steering wheel to the left like you're driving a car. But getting the club to shallow and come from the inside, it's really a body sequence.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, so a lot of people will swing it like a baseball swing. Okay, but the golf swing is what I see is more like a pitch or a throw. Okay, so everyone gets to the top like a baseball swing, and then they just turn.
Right.
Everything turns together. That shoots that club and those hands out. But there's a sequence to where you get to the top, then your weight actually transfers left, and you kind of get into that lead side. And then that's what allows that timing of that club just to fall slightly before you then fire your hips and turn open.
Why is it so... I can't... Just whenever you were explaining that, I was having flashbacks to... So I had this problem so bad, dude, and Tony would try his hardest to help me with it. But I have flashbacks and like nightmares from... because I was always a good athlete, and so not being able to figure this out blew my mind, because I could sit there and break it down exactly what I'm supposed to be doing, but I couldn't make my body do it.
Right.
And so why is it so hard for most people to do that, dude?
Because I think it's just the sequence and the timing of it. It's not something, not something like other sports.
Right.
It's all reactionary. It's quick. the golf swing has to have that time of space and that pause, right?
Yeah,
Letting
okay.
everything kind of collect, and then you get that weight transfer and that just slight second in transition, which is, I think, one of the most important parts of the swing. That timing is so hard because everyone gets to the top and they see that ball and they just want to fire and swing hard, but
That's right.
it's almost like you're pausing and letting that club just kind of fall just slightly before you then fire. And so a lot of times for me, it's just simple setting an alignment stick, swinging underneath it. I'm sure you've probably seen a lot of this, but pause swings.
Yeah.
Going to the top, literally freezing for like 2 or 3 seconds.
Whoa. Yeah.
Yeah, like not even like there and stop. And then you're feeling that weight transfer, getting that lead side like you're throwing a ball.
Okay.
And then from there, that's when that club kind of shallows and then you fire.
Yeah.
But everyone just rushes it. Everyone swings too hard. Everyone rushes it.
You're right about that. It's like you're so focused on hitting the ball,
Yes.
It's weird, and it's so different than a. It's only one of the weird things is it's the only sport where the ball literally sits there.
Yeah.
Everything else you're reacting to a ball.
Exactly. Yeah.
So you think it would be easier, but it's way harder.
It's not.
Infinitely harder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's so mental. Like
it is.
When you really get into it and you get better at the game, I'm sure you've experienced it. But golly, it's so much in between your ears.
That's right, dude.
Jack Nicklaus said it best. I mean, the game of golf is played on a 5-inch course, and it's in between your ears. I mean,
I love that.
He was being pretty serious about that.
Yeah.
So
what do you think the best tool is then to teach your clients, golfers, how to shallow the club and not be over the top? Is there a certain, because they've made a lot of different things, but then there are also a lot of coaches out there who just use alignment sticks, and it's more about the cues and stuff. What do you think?
I think it's trying to keep it as simple as possible.
Okay, I like
so
that.
I think like the alignment sticks, just having a visual, having something to avoid or swing under, and just kind of letting your body naturally react that way. I think that's how you figure it out.
Okay.
Instead of kind of thinking about, letting that club pause, get my hands to drop to my right pocket, or those things like that. I just don't see the change happen as quickly.
Okay.
So when you're, making someone physically do it, slowing it down, chip swinging, pause swinging, having those barriers in place, that's when you're actually making your motion more reactionary and make that change happen.
Okay. Yeah. Cool, man. Yeah. So do you work with clients of all ages? Like, is there someone you won't work with?
Yeah, all ages.
All ages.
Yeah.
So young
Beginner,
kids
all the way to good players.
Yeah.
I coach two college players in Abilene.
Oh, nice.
HSU and a McMurray player. I've taught 4 of the top 5 at Wiley. So they went to state last year, and I guarantee they're going to go again this year. I'm going to go up there and watch them, but they're still driving to San Angelo. I've seen all 4 of them since I've moved down here.
That's
and
amazing.
So anyway, it was just mostly coming from going out and playing with members or hearing about my game, and then I got one player, and then they got dramatically better, and then it just, went down the chain.
Yeah.
So I mean, anybody of all levels. I've helped beginners. I've helped, junior golfers. I've helped seniors pick up distance.
Yeah.
I mean, all of them.
Nice.
I can do all of them.
Yeah. So do you think, is it easier to work with a younger person than it is an older person that has, a ton of years, decades of bad habits? Do you
Absolutely.
think? It is?
Yeah.
So that's true, yeah.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
can see that for sure.
Yeah, absolutely, because when you get someone that's been playing golf for 15 or 20 years and they've, grooved kind of a bad pattern, you got to be really careful with what you want to change with that player, because you can almost change to where they just can't ever hit the ball the same.
Oh, yeah.
And so maybe a guy like John swings over the top and he kind of hits a big pull cut, and he's kind of been playing it for 20 years. How can we make that just a little bit tighter? Maybe it's just moving his right foot back, setting him a little bit more closed, and he's swinging the same way.
Okay.
Yeah. It's just simple stuff like that, and so you got to be a little bit more careful. I think the beauty zone is around the 12 to 14-year-old range.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, when they're playing a lot of sports. They got a little bit of an athletic background,
Okay.
and then they're kind of getting to the age where it's almost like, okay, what do I kind of want to focus
Yeah.
on as I'm getting older? And then you hit that age mark with a little bit of athletic background. I think that's the sweet spot.
That's so good to hear,
Yeah.
man. That's cool.
Yeah, so I coached a junior high program in Abilene too.
Yeah?
Yeah, 7th and
Nice.
8th grade at Wiley. So I
Yeah.
coached a little bit of their junior high program, and you know, a lot of those kids were new. We had 30 kids, 3 coaches between us, and so, you know, you're out there with a lot of kids that's, you know, maybe played a little bit, but majority of them haven't played, and so
Yeah.
you're teaching them just a little bit of the fundamentals,
Yes.
getting as many reps as they can correctly. And you'll see those kids by the time they're juniors, seniors in high school that they can break 80. They can play well. And that's what changed
so
Wiley, changed Wiley's golf program tremendously.
What did, starting from that level?
Yep.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that started 5-6 years ago, and, you know, Wiley hasn't made it to state as a team in who knows how long. It's been a long time. But once we started that program, within 2 or 3 years, those kids that just started it out, those are the kids now that I'm teaching privately that are now making state.
Yeah.
And they all picked up the game in 7th, 8th grade. They're all baseball players, athletes. They pick it up. So you get that 3 to 4 years of learning the game. And I think that's really kind of what you want.
Yeah.
It's just not a game you just pick up and you're good at.
I know. So this is what I want to talk to you about. So here's what's funny is when I was playing a lot and I would ask someone to come play with me, I would hear, and you probably hear this all the time. People who don't play, they're like, "Oh no, I'm terrible at golf. Oh no, I played once and I'm terrible." And I would always say, "You don't get it.
Yeah.
Everyone is terrible at first. Like
Yes.
it's not a game you just pick up and you're like, oh, you're good, and I enjoyed this. You know, like to really start enjoying the game, you have to be kind of good. I mean, you can go out there and hit one good shot, like they say, and it's addictive, and you want to come back. That happens, obviously. But like, I mean, I'm sure you would agree. Once you start to learn the rules, the real rules, and you get decent, it's way more fun.
Yes.
Right?
Oh, exactly.
So no one's like good, right, when they start, but they might have, you know, a knack for, you know, be able to pick up things faster. Isn't that true?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
People don't understand that, I feel like.
Yeah, and you know, a lot of it too is I think when you get with a PGA coach or a PGA member and they're kind of teaching you the game correctly, the fundamentals, and just grooving a consistent, just fundamentally sound, you know, motion, that speeds up your progress.
Oh, yeah.
A ton.
Yeah, okay.
A ton. Because a lot of people pick up the game and then they're self-taught and they're trying to figure it out. And then they're 4 or 5 years down the road, they're still not breaking 90. They're struggling. And they're like, all right, now I need to go to coach. Well, you kind of grooved really bad motions.
That's what happened to me. Yeah.
So now it's going to be like a whole new starting point when you go to that PGA coach.
That's right, dude. Yeah. So here's what's cool to hear, because I have a son who's about to turn 4 this month, and I kept trying to figure out when the best time would be to get him with a professional. You know what I mean? So do you think, you know, obviously getting him swinging early is good, you know, just messing around, and but 2 questions really, I guess, is do you think I should get him with a coach like sooner than junior high, or is that should I just wait until junior high to get him with a coach?
I would at least wait till around 10 or 11 years old.
All right.
Yeah. So maybe around that 6th grade.
Okay.
I think it's a pretty good spot.
Yeah.
My recommendation for the younger ones is, you know, get us in the group settings. You know, we host a lot of group clinics, PGA Junior League, things like that. You get around kids around their age. They're all learning the game. They're all around similar skill level. And it's just really making it fun. You know, getting them to enjoy it.
Yeah.
Right? You get them a grip, you get them a setup, and you kind of groove a good ball position. You just let them swing.
Yeah.
Until they're like 10, 11, 12, then that's when you can kind of really start to get a little bit more analytical.
Okay.
So
the other question was, I've heard that it can be really beneficial to teach someone that young from the green back, like teach it in reverse.
Exactly.
Do you think so too?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
So one of my best programs, and you know what we did in Abilene, is Op 36.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. Yeah.
Have you heard about
What?
it?
Explain that.
So
I
it's
don't know
Operation 36, which, you know, it's basically for beginner golfers learning the game. And so you set up 9 holes at a certain yardage, and you're trying to hit that target score.
Okay.
So say like you get the beginners, you work a little bit the first couple of weeks on just kind of fundamentals, but then you have like the first scoring competition, which is 9 holes from 40 yards. Got to break 36.
Okay,
you know,
yeah.
or you got to break 40.
Yeah.
You make it as hard, as easy as you want, depending
Gotcha.
on the players you want. But I mean, absolutely, that's what I see
Cool,
every
dude.
day. I
Yeah.
see it every day. Just members on the range beating ball after ball
yeah.
after ball. You know, hitting the long drive. You know, that stuff's cool and whatnot. But
Yeah.
if everyone learned the game
Dude,
from
I
the
know.
green bag, it saves you a lot of time. A lot of time.
God, dude, I know. So the other thing that I thought was funny is, and I saw this a lot. Like when I was playing a lot, and I'd have friends come out and play or whatever, is they really didn't care much about what their score was, or really any facet of the game other than hitting the ball far. Like that was the most important thing. Like even on holes where it didn't call for a driver, they're hitting driver, you know?
Yeah.
Have you seen what is up with that? Guys just want to hit the ball hard.
Yeah,
right?
all the time. And I'm going to say
It's
a lot
hilarious.
of people getting to the game to talk about that one shot they hit.
Yeah.
You know, I coach a lot of the middle-aged to higher-age guys that have been playing golf for a while. You know, maybe they just want to hit a 7-iron 15 yards further, or they want to hit a driver 15, 20 yards further.
Yeah.
Or they just want to hit that one shot from 150 and hit it to 10 feet, 8 feet. You know, that's what they tell their buddies or their wife when they go home. You know, that's what they remember. They don't quite remember shooting an 85 and you know, making 4 pars in a row or whatever. But, you know, getting the good shots better and, of course, cleaning up the bad shots, I mean, will lead to better scores, obviously.
Yeah.
But a lot of people they seek golf in that way.
Yeah.
Which I see it because it's such a hard sport.
I know, right.
It's
one thing I learned too is, and you've kind of already talked about this in a roundabout way, but as a coach, I had to step back because what I was trying to do was kind of push people in a direction I thought they wanted to go. And I had to step back and really, it came down to my assessment before we ever started training, was the psychological part, figuring out why they wanted to do it in the first place. Yeah. And with most golfers, I'm sure they're there to have fun. You know, they're not there to be like to go play on tour someday or like to shoot, try to do something like that. So it comes down to their intention. You know, like you said, maybe it's not about, shooting, low 70s and competing. It's just for them, they want to be a little bit better with their buddies or whatever. Yeah. So have you learned that it comes down to what they really want?
Yeah, absolutely.
Out of it? Yeah.
And that's the full assessment when we start a lesson.
Yeah.
It's what are your goals? What are you working on? What's your physical capability, limitations, injuries, cool. All that stuff goes into account. If I get the old guy Bob that's, 60 years old that's had 2 or 3 hip surgeries and a back surgery, I can't teach him how to turn and push out of the ground, So there's a lot that goes into as far as the before assessment.
That's cool. That's cool to hear, yeah. And so what about equipment? Let's talk about this a little bit because this can be controversial and people often put a lot of faith into equipment, right?
Yeah.
And so, I mean, is it the player or the club? I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
I think a lot of it is the player.
Yeah.
It is. But what I see with, juniors or even guys getting into the beginning of the game is I think it's more important to get a set started. Get a clubs that you can swing remotely fast, that are the right length for you, the right loft, lie, whatever. If you want to get really technical, but you got the 14-year-old that's swinging steel shafts that he got from his dad's garage.
Right.
He's never going to learn correct fundamentals.
Right. Yeah.
And so I think that aspect is really important.
It is.
Learning
I
the
agree.
Game.
Yeah.
But I think there's always that other side of like the too technical, too much going into it. I mean, I'll tell you, I think the drivers from 2018, 2019 are still as good today.
Yeah.
And you just look at the tour players, they all have the staff contracts, right? But at the end of the day, they're going to play what is best for their game. And a lot of those guys aren't playing the new stuff every week.
That's right, yeah.
They'll try it out. They might use it when it first comes out for the marketing.
Yeah.
Like Rory using the QI4D now.
What is that? I don't even know what that is.
So TaylorMade.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, so the new TaylorMade driver that came out in October, September.
Yeah.
Rory puts it in play, and he plays it for a couple weeks, has a bad driving week. Now he's using his QI35 again.
Yeah.
And so
what do you use?
So I'm on Tyler's staff. So
are you? Okay, nice.
So being on staff, Club Pro, you got to play the new stuff. But they do still give you an option if you don't like it. You can still
Okay.
use your other stuff. But, I mean, overall, it seems like every year they are getting better.
Yeah,
Now,
yeah.
there's a whole lot that goes into it. It's shaft, it's weighting now,
Yeah.
it's kick point. Is the club releasing earlier or later? There's so much that goes
Yep.
into it. So if you got a driver in 2020 and then you step into Golf Galaxy and you see the new TaylorMade driver and you just grab it off the rack and go, you're not going to get any results
Exactly.
from it.
Yeah.
You got to do the club fitting. You got to
Yeah.
go through all of that.
Well, that's what's interesting is, like, it is important, like, even if you're just a weekend warrior
Yeah.
and you want to get better, is to have, like, a fitting done. Like, it
Yeah.
really helped my game a lot, dude.
Oh, yeah.
And I didn't realize the amount of data available that, you know, like Tony was able to. What's the flight deal? What's it called again? That they
we
did
use
it?
Foresight.
Okay, yeah.
Foresight with GC Quad.
Okay,
So-
I don't even know what all that means, but I'm trying to remember what there was one
So
that
you got,
there's one
like-
that's famous that the what's the one called that assesses everything that the pros use, like it's called.
Like just the normal like club and ball data. So like, are you
forget
thinking
that
about
there
like
was a
spin
name.
rate or
Well,
ball
all of
speed?
that, yeah, it was. So with that, you're able to, you know, like if I have, let's say I have, you know, I'm a bigger guy, I have pretty good club speed, and you know, you're gonna fit me differently than a 14-year-old kid.
Exactly.
And so using all that data, I think a lot of people don't understand that can really improve their game, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, even going down to the lie angle of the club.
Yeah.
Okay, so you got a guy that's way inside to out. He's going to need to play a little bit more flatter clubs
yeah.
because he probably hits it a lot on the toe.
Right.
And so you'll throw a guy with 2-degree flat of clubs, and his strike pattern went from the toe right to the center, and he's just
Yeah.
swinging the same.
Exactly.
You know?
That's why. Yeah. Yeah.
And
That's
so,
cool. Yeah.
and even like the shaft with the driver, we look at the spin rate, the attack angle nowadays, the kick
Yeah.
point in the shaft. If I used a regular flex 60-gram driver, like my spin rate's going to be so high my ball doesn't
Exactly.
fly 240,
Yeah, exactly,
But if
yeah.
I put extra stiff, low spinning shaft,
Yeah.
like a heavier head, my spin rate's going to cut down more in half, and I'll
Exactly.
gain like 30-40 yards a carry.
Yeah.
Like it's just that
Wow.
difference.
Well, just that alone. So for me, at first I was using, some clubs off the shelf somewhere at Academy or something, and when Tony got with me, we decided to go with Callaway because I think he had a contract with Callaway, and he was like, dude, you're just hitting a regular flex shaft. You need to, extra stiff, and my attack angle was always a big problem when it came
Yeah.
to the driver.
Yeah.
It was always a negative attack angle. It's hard to get a positive attack angle, which is when you get to the ball hitting up on it, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, man, it just improved my game dramatically, though, because also I'm a taller guy.
Yeah.
And you see these guys, my height or around my height, hitting clubs off the shelf. They're like 2 inches too short sometimes or more.
Yeah.
And so it was crazy, dude. I was like leaning way over,
Yeah.
and so
Right.
that's one thing I think some people don't realize is even if you're just playing occasionally, like it does help to have a fitting.
Yeah,
For sure.
and especially learning the game.
Yeah,
Like it's
yeah.
it's way underrated, and it's way more important nowadays. I mean, if you just think about how hard golf is, and
Yeah.
if you're swinging something that's not built for you and you have no idea, like you're just making the game that much harder.
Exactly.
So
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So, what do you do if somebody calls out there and they're not a member but they want a lesson from you? They want to get some lessons. Do y'all do that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's guest members. I charge $100 adult, $80 junior.
Nice.
Privately, and it's just really you can call the pro shop. You can also ask for Colton's contact. They got my contact.
Yeah.
Anything like that, but they'll always kind of steer your direction to me, and then it's reaching out to see my availability.
Okay.
And then getting it on the lesson books
Nice.
and getting.
So you
together.
don't have to be a member.
No, sir.
That's great. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, lastly, I want to talk to you just a little bit about. We talked about this before, but one thing I didn't know, I knew that club pros, they play in tournaments, but I didn't know you're required to keep up your game and play at a certain level. It's basically what you were saying, right?
Yeah, so I think as being a teaching pro and a pro in general, I think being able to show off your game and being able to do
Yeah.
it personally, I think that's huge.
It is.
And that's what's helped me with my lessons with everything. And then of course I think there's this whole other aspect of I'm still competing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still trying to get better with my game. So I'm experiencing what my players are experiencing.
Oh, that's
You
a
know?
great point, dude.
Right.
Yeah.
So
that's a good point.
if I'm, playing, I'm working on something, I'm quite not seeing the results. What is it? Is it my process? Is it my routine? Is there a flaw in my technique? How's my mental game? I'm dissecting every part in my game, so then I can personally experience that and then be able to ask my players and go through that whole process with them. And it's more relatable to the player and the coach. It's like they're keeping up with my game. I mean, I have all my players ask, they keep up with me going to tournaments and, how are you playing? And it's a relationship builder for sure.
For sure,
So,
I like that, man, because I remember I won't say any names, but I was taking a lesson from somebody else in town, and they were a golf pro at this particular place, but they were all into hunting and stuff, which was great, but they never really played golf or talked about golf. And it's not like, at first I like noticed that and it impacted me, but over time, like it just felt like they were kind of phoning it in and not real passionate about what they were doing.
Right.
And so it really is a big deal, dude, because when I started going with Tony and he talked about, he was one thing I respect about Tony as a club pro and as a coach is just how passionate and how much energy he gives to each session, the full session, fully engaged, full energy, and with other lessons I've had, it's not like that. And so I think it's really important. Like Tony would talk about going to tournaments and playing well, and it's a big deal, man, to know that your coach is still playing competitively, cares about it, is passionate about it. So that's cool.
And I think it builds your trust in them.
Yes, it does.
There's a lot of golf pros out there that grew up playing the game. They got in as profession, but the great ones are really obsessed about it.
Yeah,
and that's
true.
just they just love it. And
that's
I mean, I love it. I mean, I just could sit here and talk about it all day.
Yeah.
I'm constantly trying to figure out, like I told you earlier, the new gadgets, the new way. What does this do to my swing? Things like that. You're always constantly learning. And it's a game you can't ever perfect, and you can constantly just keep learning.
Yep.
And that's what I just love about it.
I do too, yeah. So are there any gadgets out right now that you put any faith in that you're like, hey, this can be effective?
So I think Pro Cinder is what I'm going to call it, made by Sean Foley.
Okay.
I think this Pro Cinder, it's a wrist cradle that is basically for your right wrist extension.
Okay.
And it's basically the tour average at 45 degrees with that right wrist bend.
Okay.
And I really love it because what it does is allow you to set the club properly.
Okay.
But it also will get you in the top position with a square face that matches your grip.
Okay, yeah.
And then it can lead to several things. You keep that hand in the cradle, it'll help you shallow the club.
Okay.
Or you keep it in that cradle long, it'll give you shaft lean. Or it'll just kind of helps you feel with that right wrist the proper set and load in that club. And then he's got another one that he just released that, I was one of the first guys to buy it, but it's the widener. And
what's that do?
Basically it's this arc thing that connects to your left wrist and goes under your right arm, but basically keeps your width in your swing.
From takeaway all the way up. Yeah,
it keeps your width in your swing.
Okay.
And so a lot of people don't turn a lot. Right? They kind of just lift their arms. Their chest doesn't rotate.
Exactly.
Well, that widening thing, for me, it makes the arc radius the same.
Okay.
So that club is nice and wide, and the arc is the same way.
Nice.
You're not getting picked and narrow and coming down and chopping the wood. And then it also just forces you to turn.
Man, that sounds awesome.
Yeah.
It seems like that could help me a lot right there.
And he does it with all of his pro players. I mean, he's constantly posting on his social media, and all these players give him feedback before he's got these prototypes and build, and then he takes it to the tour, and then the tour guys give their feedback.
Yeah,
refines it, and then, he coached Tiger Woods. He's a very successful coach. So basically, those two gadgets right there, really love, and you can use them for everything too.
Nice, dude.
Chipping, widener can be good for putting. Things like that.
What's your favorite ball? Tireless, I guess.
Yeah.
Pro V1s or something.
Pro V1X.
Okay,
is what I play. Yeah.
Nice, dude. So who do you think top 3 golfers are in the world right now?
So Scotty Scheffler.
Yeah, of course.
I'm gonna say Rory McIlroy.
Nice, I like that.
And I'm going to say, as far as recent play, you know, these guys get hot and then they don't get hot or whatever. I think Chris Gotterup is going to be one that kind of comes up to be really elite. He'll be top 5 player in the world, in my opinion.
Yeah. Okay.
And so, I mean, from a career standpoint, Rory is, he's like the modern, he really is. He's just so good.
Dude.
So good.
Yeah.
Even playing at the age he is.
I know. Yeah.
It's awesome to see.
You think Tiger will ever get another one?
PGA, I don't see it.
It's already gone. That ship has sailed.
Well, you know, I think the last goal for him, if he does have one playing, is to win the U.S. Senior Open. Because
would that count?
It on the senior tour, it could count as a career win. Yeah. But no one's ever won all USGA events.
Really?
So if Tiger goes out and wins the U.S. Senior, he'll be the first player to win that U.S. Senior Open on the senior tour.
Okay.
And so, from my aspect, that's what it looks like would be his last goal.
Yeah.
Of course, he can ride a cart on the senior tour.
Yeah, you know. He loves talking about that. He's all excited.
He can do all that, you know.
Yeah.
But as far as a career standpoint, I feel like that would be the only goal left, really, for him.
Yeah.
Of course, he wants to beat Jack's record, and he wants to do all that.
I'm sure he does. Have you ever seen him in person? Have you ever seen him play?
No, I haven't.
I saw him play at in Austin at the Dell, whatever
match
it is.
Play?
Yeah, match play.
Was it before he won the Masters in 2019?
It was. Man, it was right around that time. I'm trying to remember if it was right after or right before. It was before.
Yeah.
It was right before. Yeah.
2019.
Yeah, and it was fun. I went with a couple friends, and what struck me, I got to see him, Rory, and a bunch of other pros, but I can't remember. Seeing him from about where you are, though, and he had a bad hole, and I have this on video. He walked right past us, and he hit the tree. He was all mad. But just seeing him, two things, really. One was, he was not as, I thought he was like a little bigger and more built, but I know he's older too, even 8 years ago or whatever. But he was more slight. He was kind of a smaller guy. But the other thing with almost all the really good pros, watching them live, was how effortless everything looked. Their swings from the tee box is so effortless.
So smooth, right?
Yeah. And I thought it would be just way more like, it's explosive, but it's just so they're not up there like swinging as hard as they can, you know.
No, it's 70-80%. They're kind of just cruising it.
Yeah.
And
what's your club speed?
It's around 118 now.
Whoa!
117, 118. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, for a smaller guy, I don't know how to do it, but that's kind of one of the better parts of my game.
Is it? How far do you hit the ball on average? You drive?
Like, I mean, as far as carrying,
290, 300?
Carrying, we're around 290, 300, depending on depending on the course conditions. And
do you hit with a little fade or a draw?
Little fade.
You do?
Yeah.
Man, so real quick on that. So for years, up until I'd say probably the 90s or 2000s. I mean, I could be wrong, but it was traditional to hit a draw, you know, and then like these tour pros started going to the fade. And is it because it's easier to control?
It is easier to control, but I think modern technology is a big key to that.
Okay.
So a lot of drivers and technology nowadays, it's trying to take spin off. It's moving the CG forward.
Okay.
It's trying to take off that spin.
Yep.
And so it's harder to draw the ball with less spin.
Okay, makes sense.
And so now you can hit a cut with less spin. It goes just as far as a draw, and it's more controllable. Makes sense why those guys are doing it.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing for me. I can't control a draw.
So what about your irons? Do you hit a draw, or do you try to just hit the ball straight?
I mean, most of the time, stock shot, it's kind of straightish. But I really do like to work it both ways.
Yeah.
Depending on working it against the wind or riding the wind.
Yes. So when I was really taking it seriously, I'd go out to the range and I had a really set routine I would work on. I'd hit, with each club hit 10 or 15 draws with the same club, 10 or 15 fades, low ones, high ones, whatever.
Yeah.
So I think it is, when you start getting serious about it, being able to work the ball both ways is pretty important.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Once you kind of groove a motion that you're consistently hitting the ball remotely well, now it's learning how to play the game and picking the right shot.
Do you feel like also most golfers underestimate how important putting is?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Chipping, putting.
Would you say that's the most important part of the game?
I think it's I think it's inside 120 yards.
Yeah.
And so you can put putting there, but I think the chipping and all the way the wedges to the 120 out, I think that's the game. Because, like, you think about the guy, I've seen it all the time, the guy that hits it 200, 220 yards, but driver wood to 40 yards out, gets up and down for par, and he does that all day long.
I know. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And so that guy can beat the guy that's hitting it 300 yards all over the place, you know? And so I think it's inside 120, chipping, wedge shots, and, of course, putting. Yeah. And going back to that point, learn from the green back.
Exactly.
And, you know, going through all of that. And that other point, too, when you were talking about the how smooth and effortless those guys look, it goes back to that timing aspect, that transition.
That's right. Yeah. What's the guy's name? The Asian guy who literally pauses for a full second?
Hideki Matsuyama.
Yeah, that guy. Matsuyama, Yeah, that's interesting, man, because every time I see that guy, I feel like I'm always like, man, I'm going to start trying that, and then I never do. But it makes sense, you know? And that's what you're doing in your head in a way, right?
Yes.
You're thinking that you're pausing.
Right. It's like, I use it a lot, but it's like completing the backswing. Just like really complete that backswing. Fully turn, let that club set, let it collect. Just a little bit. Just a little bit before you, like, let it go. And everyone's rushing, you know, swinging hard from the top. And the speed is all right down here. All of this is just pretty smooth.
Isn't it true? I mean, that that last little bit is the most important part of it. It doesn't matter what you do up here to a point, right?
Right. Yeah.
That's
crazy. Absolutely. And that's why you see a different swing with you know, every player on tour.
Who's your favorite? Who has the best swing in your opinion?
I'm gonna say Adam Scott.
Adam Scott, of course.
Yeah. I mean, just as far as textbook,
it's beautiful.
Yeah. But as far as a modern golf swing, I really like it's Ludwig Åberg that played at Tech.
Ooh, really?
Sweden.
I don't
Swedish
think I know
guy.
him. Okay.
Yeah. So he's a younger guy. He's I think he's probably 24, 25. But as far as a modern kind of textbook swing. I mean, it's so fun to watch.
Interesting.
So good.
I'll have to check him out. Yeah.
Ludwig Åberg.
Cool, man. Yeah. And lastly, I guess, man, so I always ask everybody this. What are 3 things that you're genuinely grateful for right now in your life?
So I'm grateful for my family, my friends. You know, they're my ultimate supporters. You know, they're there for me through the tough times, through the great times. I'm grateful you know, for this new opportunity here in Angelo. I think all the people have been great so far, been really welcoming to me, helping me guide around. So I'm really grateful to be in a good place. Looks like a great community with a new opportunity to expand the game and get myself out there. And I'm just grateful for the Lord above, of course, giving us, you know, everything day in, day out.
That's exactly right, dude. I love that. So what do you like about San Angelo so far the most? Maybe 1 or 2 things. You like
Mexican food.
Dude, right? Do y'all not have that good of Mexican food now?
No.
Really?
No.
Oh, it's amazing,
God,
right?
It's
have you been
amazing.
to 2 places, Pisano's?
Yep.
And have you been to Armenta's?
I've been to Armenta's. That's my next stop.
Dude, you're right. Though we have good Mexican food.
Oh my gosh,
that was good, man.
the service, the Mexican food. I mean, I could eat Mexican probably every meal of my life.
Me too.
Like it is amazing to be somewhere that it's like good.
Yeah.
And so my girlfriend, she's Hispanic, and you know I eat the homemade Mexican food.
Oh, you do?
So, yeah. So
nice, dude.
So
people are gonna love this.
Yeah. So I know what good Mexican food is, and God, Angelo, it's pretty impressive.
It is, right? Yes. People are going to love that, dude. All right, well, thanks, Colton. Appreciate it, brother.
Yeah, no problem, Matt. Thanks
get
for
out there,
me.
get some lessons, guys. Call SAC, ask for Colton Hillburn. We'll see you later, guys. Thanks for watching. Dude, that was great, man.
Yeah.
Good job. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. Thank you, Colton, for coming on and talking about the great game of golf, one of the hardest games in the world, with a ball that doesn't move. The only sport where the ball stays in place, and it's the hardest in the world. If you want to improve your game, call San Angelo Country Club, get a hold of Colton.